I'm Frank Horvat. Thank you so much for listening and watching. I'm sitting beside Catherine Frid, who is the playwright. She is the mastermind of this show who brought me into this project, and she wrote the book and the lyrics for the musical Spend Your Kid's Inheritance. So, we just want to talk a little bit about Catherine's journey with this show, and maybe you can start off by talking about what spawned this idea.
Sure. The idea first came over 10 years ago when my parents first retired. They started taking long cruises. They were on a big cruise in Asia, and they met a group of Australians who kept wearing yellow t-shirts that said Australian Ski Club on it. So eventually my father asked one of the guys, like, what is it with the Australian Ski Club? And he said, no, it's not the ski club, it's the SKI Club. We're spending our kids' inheritance on this 6-week-long cruise. So it became a joke in our family when where everybody would, when my parents would go on vacation, they would say, oh, we're off to spend your inheritance again. And of course we all encouraged them to do it, but it gave me the idea of a play where adult children were disapproving of their parents' choices and what might become of that.
So when you were just hanging out with your parents and they were telling you this story, did it like just pop into your head right away, this should be a play, this should be a musical? How did you go from like a story like that to becoming like where we are today in a musical?
Well, everything I hear, I think, that would be a good something in a play, right? So it sort of fell into the big funnel of stuff, and then it started to gel with something I'd always wanted to do, which is to write a musical that's a little bit different from normal musicals. So instead of having the male protagonists out with their big goals and their big adventures, it would be the women who had the big goals, and the men would be kind of their supporters or their allies or their antagonists, but not the heroes. And the other idea was to make the heroes the older adults,
right,
as opposed to the young people. So it became a reverse coming-of-age story, where basically the older adults outgrow their adult children.
Yeah, that's definitely what intrigued me about working on this project. Is I, you know, some people have told me this or that. Oh, there is some plays or musicals that you do see seniors in sort of these main roles and stuff, but it is very rare, and I think that's what making our project pretty special in that way. So
yeah, it's a lot of fun.
it is, for sure. So we met. We should briefly talk about how we met. Right, we were at Playwrights Guild of Canada event, which was a mixer. Right, is that what they call it, a mixer?
A networking.
Network.
A mixer, I think, is more of a personal thing.
Okay. Okay, well, it wasn't that type of an event. No, it was very professional, and this was an event that was meeting composers, getting composers to meet up with playwrights. Mm-hmm. And I remember everyone in the room introduced themselves in the office there, and it wasn't a big gathering. It was maybe about 10 playwrights, 10 composers, if I remember correctly. And after that was done, everyone did their little 2-minute spiel introducing, then it was just mingling, and I remember you darted right over to me, and you said, hi, I'm writing a musical, and I want you to write the music. And I'll never forget that, because it's like, well, you've never even heard my music. So it's just like, you know, but I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that would be cool. I guess that's why I showed up at a Playwrights Guild of Canada event, because I am interested in working in theater, and I've always enjoyed that experience, for sure. So we've been at this for 5 years.
Yeah.
And sort of like, and we've put a lot of heart and soul into it for these last 5 years and had a lot of ups and downs and stuff. How does it feel that we're literally now just weeks, days, depending when people are watching this, away from this finally having its official premiere? How does that feel for you?
Well, probably the same as it feels for you, which is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, to have the high caliber of actors, professional singers working on the show that we have, to have Andrew Lamb directing it, it's like, it doesn't get any better than this. And to be able to actually put it in front of a real audience, not just a workshop audience, but a real audience for 7 shows, it's going to be wonderful.
Right. Yeah, same thing for me, for sure. I just, you know, we've always been working on different things over the 5-year journey, and then we come back to it, and then we work on it intensely, and then we put it aside. But now it's all just for us, just like this climax, you know, just to see, you know, these awesome singers, you know, and actors like acting and singing all these things, and it's just amazing. So, talk to me about just a little bit about your craft of writing, and how has it been different for you, like maybe creatively or just process-wise, to write a musical versus a play? How is it different?
Well, it's been very different because, as you know, I'm not a music person. Right? I have only the rudiments of like grade 3 piano behind me. And so I've never co-written a play with somebody before, and that's what we basically did with the music, right? So I'm doing the book and lyrics, but you know, the hours that we have spent on Skype, right, talking about various songs, what their intent is, and me writing the lyrics and sending them to you, and then us talking about it, rewriting the lyrics, you writing the music, rewriting the music. It's an opportunity really to think more about what exactly you're trying to achieve,
right,
as opposed to just kind of just keep gunning for it, which I sometimes do with my writing, and then have to come back and no, I made that wrong turn, and sort of go way back and start rewriting. So in some ways it's a little bit easier to take the time as we were writing the various scenes and the various songs to really think about them at the time and change them as we went. That's how it was for me. How was it for you?
Exactly the same thing, actually, on the music side, because like I'm like you, like, you know, when I write a piece of music, I can pretty well see it through from beginning to end, but in a very collaborative process in a multidisciplinary situation, you're definitely going to have moments where, you know, I'm going to write something and it's just like, oh, you know, that was cool and awesome, but it doesn't fit the story anymore, or the plot's had to change, and that's gone. I have a nice folder. I have a nice folder on my computer of what they call old songs for Spend Your Kids' Inheritance, you know, and it's pretty large with old ideas, old complete songs that you and I loved, actually.
We like them.
You know, there were some songs that we really loved, but they were within an old plot twist and that type of thing that we just can't use anymore because of the way the flow, the show has flowed along. And I think for me, I've actually become a much more, because of going on this journey, I've become a much better artist because of it. Because I've taught myself that patience is an amazing thing, and flexibility is an amazing thing. And those sort of stereotypes of an artist, a creative person who's just like, I want it my way and my vision and that type of thing, and it's just going to be like that. You can't be like that on a project like this. It's impossible, and that's why I really, I feel like I've become a better composer just because of being a flexible person, but also just a better person in that respect. So that's why it's been so awesome to work on this, you know. It's been a journey for me both professionally and personally. So anyway.
I think it is true that I would agree with you, it requires a bit more patience, right, and talking through. But the product is actually better, you know, and we were able to reach agreement on, like, this is a great song, we love this song, but it's not an important enough point in the musical to use this song, right? So we've got this song we can't use, and kind of accept that and go on.
Yeah.
Of course, we were always warned that would be the case with writing a musical as well, which kind of helped set expectations a little bit.
Well, I was warned for sure, but I didn't believe it at first. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to write 10, 15, 12, 13 songs, whatever, it's done. How hard is it to write a bunch of songs and blah, 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 and it's just like, oh, no, that's not the way it's going to be at all. But that's okay, I survived, you survived. We're still on speaking terms.
Oh, even better than that. We're still friends.
We're probably better friends than we were 5 years ago or 2 years ago or whatever. So yeah, then we know we're on the right track. So anyway, so this has been great. Thank you everybody for watching.
Thank you,
Catherine Frid, playwright for our lovely show, Spend Your Kids' Inheritance. Make sure you watch it. Check out our website. All the information is after this video. Bye everyone.
Thank you. Your chair's higher than mine.
Now I'm sure. Okay, here we go.